Okay, folks, listen. This video is not about Vernon Presley, who is Elvis Presley's father, because I'm going to do a video about him in the future, and you'll see how he connects to all this. But there's just one part in this video that connects to him, and that's why I have to show this, because he is the one who brought Elvis into existence, okay? Supposedly. Anyway, so this is Elvis's dad, Vernon Presley. But before I show you the new information, let me just lay some groundwork real quick. So remember, these are my two predictions that on June 11th, there's going to be a spectacular event in Seattle, and somehow Elvis becomes a part of it eventually. And the other prediction is Trump gets his head wound on August 4th in Ohio. Okay, Elvis, Seattle, June 11th. Trump, Ohio, 8-4. Trump head wound. I'm only showing this for the new people right now, just this last, the next minute, that's it. So Trump head wound August 4th is the 216th day of the year. The Seattle spectacular event is June 11th, the 162nd day of the year. 216, 16, 2. Get it? And the reason I'm saying it like that, because Elvis had an identical twin who died at birth. And they were both born on 1/8. Okay, so 1/8, because his name was Jesse. That's how it's spelled on his gravestone with an I. 1/8, they're born, makes 216. August 4th is the 216th day of the year. If you say the date backwards, 8181, like they do in the UK, they say the day first, month next. It's 16-2. 16-2, get it? 162nd day of the year is June 11th. And for the people who know my videos, you know that I told you a crown is, the letter O is a crown. So when you put the letter O with the word January 8th, with the words January 8th into the Gematria calculator, it will equal 162, and backwards it'll equal 216. That's June 11th and August 4th right there in the numbers. When you put a crown on January 8th, the day the identical twins were born. And it just so happens that if you put the words identical twins into the Gematria calculator, it equals 162 forwards, 216 backwards. June 11th, August 4th, 162nd day of the year, 216th day of the year. These are not coincidences, folks. Okay, so this is the reason I brought Vernon Presley up, because watch this. From Elvis's birthday to 6/11, which is the Seattle spectacular event, Elvis was born on 1/8, the day the identical twins were born, to 6/11, okay, which is the Seattle event. It's 154 days if you do not count the day, but up to that day. And if you count 6/11 into the time and date calculator, it'll be 155 days. It's 154 or 155. And it's super important, the mixture of both of them. I'm going to show you why. Now, and from Vernon Presley's birthday to 9/11, Vernon Presley's born on 4/10 to 9/11 within the same year is 154, 155 days. So just ask yourself, what is the chance that they both connect to the 6/11 and to the 9/11 with the exact same amount of days in between their birthdays and those dates? Like I said, folks, the puzzle is going to come all together. You'll see what I'm talking about, and you'll see how it's supernatural. So from Elvis's birthday, January 8th to 6/11, the Seattle event, is either 154 days or 155 days. Now, the percentage of 154 days is 42.19%. And by the way, Seattle is in Washington. Washington is the 42nd state. And Elvis died at the age of 42, okay? And if you add 42 plus 42, you get the 84, right? And the reason I'm mentioning the 84, because my other prediction is 8-4, Trump gets his head wound. But anyway, I told you it's a mixture of both of them. And you'll see why in a moment, the 154 and the 155 days, okay? And that's why both of these are going to be counted together also. Like I said, it'll all come together. And anyway, the percentage of 155 days is 42.47%. for 154 days is 42.19%. And the reason that the mixture of the 154 and the 100 and the 155 is important is because it is the only numbers that, when added together, equals 666 into the Gematria calculator. Okay? So you have to write the words 154, 155 into the Gematria calculator. It'll equal 450, 216, and the total will be 666. Now, look how incredible this is, because I told you that Trump is the 45th president. This is a crown, the O, okay? And Elvis has been dead for 45 years, and the 216th day of the year is August 4th. And you get the 666, right? And remember, I said that Trump was the 45th president and Elvis has been dead for 45 years. And Elvis, he turned 45 years dead on August 16th this year, year 22. And he's still going to be 45 years dead all the way until next August 16th. That's when he turns 46. So my predictions are June 11th and August 4th. So he'll still be 45 years dead during my predictions. And that's why it's a mixture of the 22 year and the 23rd year. Okay, which is next year, right? And if you add that up with the prime numbers, the 22nd prime is 79, the 23rd prime is 83. And look, 22 plus 23 equals 45. And the prime numbers equal 162. And June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. Okay? 16-2, 216, get it? August 4th is the 216th day of the year, the day Trump gets his head wound. But this is the Seattle event, 16-2. 162nd day of the year. Anyway, I got sidetracked a little bit with that. So let's go back to this. The 154 and the 155, I told you, equaled 450, 216, and 666. Okay? Now, what would happen, because I told you Elvis is connected to this. Because I told you from Elvis's birthday to June 11th is 154 or 155. And that's why I was showing 154 and 155 and how it equals 666 in the total. But let's see what would happen if I put Elvis Aaron Presley, his full name, with 154 and 155. So before I put that into the Gematria calculator, let me just show you what Elvis Aaron Presley equals. This is how it's spelled on his gravestone. It equals 216 in Gematria. And you know that 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. And August 4th, 8-4, is the 216th day of the year, the day Trump gets his head wound. So now I added Elvis Aaron Presley to 154 and 155. It'll equal 666. Do you remember? Without Elvis Aaron Presley, just these two, it was 450. And 450 plus 216 equaled 666. And Elvis Aaron Presley equaled 216. So this equaled 450 and this equals 216. When you put it together, it equals 666. And like I said, remember, Elvis Aaron Presley equaled 216. And you have all these other connections with it. And look at this. If you put 216 into the Gematria calculator, it'll equal 228.84. Look at that. And 228, Elvis died on August 16th, the 228th day of the year. You see that? And look, 8-4. So 228. Right there, August 16th is the 228th day, and 8-4. Like, what is the chance of that? You see that? And just pay attention closely with this one. Because, okay, from Elvis's birthday to June 11th, I told you it's either 154 days if you don't include the day, but up to 6/11. And if you include the day, it's 155 days. And the number 155, if you put into the Gematria calculator, it is the first number that equals 216. 155 written out is the first number that equals 216. Okay? And notice it's even got the 108 in the second row, which is the reduced number. 108 is Elvis's birthday. The 1/8 they're born. You see how incredible that is? And it connects from Elvis's birthday to June 11th on the dot, 155 days. Anyway, like I said, so from Elvis's birthday to June 11th, it's 154 days or 155 days, and I showed you all the connections to that. The percentage is 42.19% or 42.47%, and I told you you have to add these 2 days to get all that 666 stuff that I showed you, and that's why you're going to have to add all of the percentage up, and that's what I'm going to show you right here. So when you add the percentages up, 42.19%, 42.47, look at that. It equals 8466. And you'll see why that's important in a moment. But look, the word twin equals 66. Okay, so you got that connection. But watch what I'm going to show you. Remember, it says 8466. And from Elvis's birthday, the day the identical twins were born and one of them died, supposedly, to 9/11, when the Twin Towers collapsed, from Elvis's birthday, right? The identical twins, 1935 to the 9/11 collapse, the Twin Towers, 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. So you could say it backwards, 8 months, 4 days, 66 years. What do you get? 8466. Which goes right back to the percentage of 154, 155 days. 8466. I mean, can you believe this? And this has to do from Elvis's birthday to June 11th. The 154, 155 day percentage. Do you get it? 8466, 6684. And I told you Trump's going to get his head wound on 8/4. Twin equals 66. Obama's born on 8/4. That's why he was the president before Trump. And I showed you the connection to 9/11. And interestingly enough, 8,466 days, it equals 23 years and some months. 23 is next year, the 23rd year, next 2023. And look at the percentage of 8,466 days, 2319.45%. Look at that. It's like literally perfect of how I tell you every time. Seattle, Washington's initials is SW, 1923. Look at that. 2319 equals 42. Washington's the 42nd state. Elvis died at the age of 42. He's been dead for 45 years. Trump is the 45th president. Look, you have every number connected. 2319, the 42, and the 45. And the only connection I could find with the dates connecting with the numbers, 6684, if you say the numbers backwards instead of 8466, from 223, because next year is 2023, from 223 to date to 611 is 6684. And from 223 to 611, just in a year, within a year, is 108 days. And Elvis was born on 108, when the identical twins were born. Anyway, so from Elvis's birthday to the Seattle event, I showed you the connections already. From Elvis's birthday to 611 is either 154 or 155 days. But in leap year, it's either 155 or 156 when you add the day. So pay attention to the 156, okay? The 156th prime number is 911. So there's another connection to the 611. Because on leap year, from Elvis's birthday to June 11th was 156 days. So 911, the 156 prime is 911. And I told you that the letter O is a crown, right? And the letter O can be 15 and reduce it's 6. And reduce means when you have a double digit number, it's 1 plus 5 equals 6. That's what a reduced number means. Okay? So the letter O can be either 15 or 6. 156, get it? The 156th prime number is 911. So basically, what I'm saying is that's a crown number. because it's the letter O, 15.6. And the reason I'm showing you this equation, because look, the 165th prime number equals 977. Trump was born on 6/14, which is the 165th day of the year. And from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 is 977 days. If you go forward 977 days. So 165th prime is 977. That's Trump's birthday, the 165th day of the year. See, another connection. Because Trump is, like I told you, is the replacement twin for Elvis's supposed twin that died. It's all about the twin towers. I mean, about the twins. The word towers, this is what it equals. 100 forward, 62 backwards. Look at that. 162. June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. You see? And on leap year, it's 163rd. So it's 16263 right there. But anyway, 162 for towers. And if you put a crown on the word twins, it equals the exact same as towers. And you know that the twin towers fell. So the word twins with a crown equals the exact same as towers. And it's got the 162 connection, which is June 11th. And remember earlier I was telling you about the 154, because from Elvis's birthday to June 11th is either 154 days or 155 days. The Antichrist equals 154. Okay? And Elvis's age in the year 2000, he was 66. And in the year 2023, when Seattle, the spectacular event happens, he'll be 88. 66 plus 88 is 154. The Antichrist number. You see? This was 9/11. This is the Seattle event. And next year, 2023, is the year of the Antichrist. I just told you, Elvis is the representation of Lucifer. Okay? So the 20th prime number, because 2023, right? 20th prime number is 71. The 23rd is 83. It equals 154. 154. And this is the first time that a year equals 154 since 1626. Okay? Anyway, and I believe that's the year the St. Peter's Basilica or something like that was built. I'm not sure. 1626 was the last time. That's what for sure I know that a year equaled 154, which is the Antichrist number. And if you add the 20 and 23, which is 43, to the 154, it equals 197. And why is that important? Because the 45th prime number equals 197. And Elvis has been dead for 45 years, and Trump is the 45th president when my two predictions happen next year. And remember, I showed you all the connections to Elvis's birthday to 9/11. Elvis's age during when the Twin Towers fell, he was 66 years old. It was in 2001. 6621 with two crowns. The word twin equals 6621. 6621. Do you see it? The year 2001, Elvis's age, equals twin. Which is exactly what this is. Like I said, from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 was 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. And from 9/11, 2001 to 6/11, 2023 is 21 years, 9 months. So 66 plus 21 equals 87. And the word twin equals 66, 21 reduced, and total is 87. You see? And by the way, you see this number right here? You think this is a coincidence? Watch this. 219. Remember the 219 right here. So the day the identical twins were born, Elvis and Jesse, 1/8, from the first of the year, January 1st to January 8th is 8 days. Okay? If you count the day, it's 8 days. Look at the percentage, 2.19%. I just showed you the 219, right? In that last equation, it said 21 years, 9 months. 219 right there. And you think it's a coincidence again? Prime number 1 equals 2. 8th prime number equals 19. 219. 219. You see that? He's born on 1/8. I wrote the first prime number is number 2. That's what it equals. The eighth prime number equals 19. I mean, it's so perfect. And that's what the percentage is. It's impossible to get these coincidences. Try it with anything else. And I told you how important the year 2022 and 2023 is, because Elvis has been dead for 45 years, starting from August 16, 2022, all the way until next August 16, 2023, which is my predictions will happen, both of them next year, when Elvis is in the 88 year age. But both years are important because he turned 45 in 2022. I mean, 45 years dead in 2022. Okay, anyway. So 87, 88. And look, the date 87 is the 219th day of the year. There's your 219 again. And look, on leap year, it's the 220th day. And look at the percentage. 60.11%. 611 right there with a crown. The O is a crown. And that happens on the 220th day. You see, on a leap year. 87 is the 220th day. That's what that becomes. Now look at this. 88 is the 220th day of the year. And Elvis turns 88 next year, you see. And I told you that that Trump gets his head wound on August 4th and he comes back on 8/8 somehow. He resurrects. Either 8/7 or 8/8. He resurrects. Like when I say resurrects, like they say like he came out of his coma or something, like he was brain dead or something, and then he comes back to life. And even the name Trump, his last name Trump, equals 88 in Gematria. And you remember the earlier connection I showed you with Vernon Presley to 9/11? Anyway, so Vernon Presley, he was born on April 10th, 1916. And this was a leap year. So technically April 10th fell on April 11th because it was a leap year, right? So instead of, the reason I'm bringing that up is just, there's a reason, because his birthday is April 10th, but it fell on April 11th's regular day. You get what I'm saying? Because it's a leap year. And the reason I brought that up is because January 8th, the only other date that equals the exact same in Gematria as January 8th is April 11th, the 4/11. And I'm going to show you why that's important in a moment. But January 8th equals April 11th in Gematria. And the reason I showed that is because when the identical twins were born on January 8th, 1935, if you go from the first of the year to January 8th, if you don't add that day on the calculator, it'll be 7 days. But if you add that day, it's 8 days. Okay? It's kind of like the 69, because 6 plus 9 would be 15, and 7, 8 is 15. It's like a crown, basically. Anyway, the reason I'm showing that is because, look, it's 1.92% for 7 days, 2.19% for 8 days. And look at what it equals, 4/11. I just told you that January 8th, the only other date that equals January 8th in Gematria is April 11th. This is what I meant. You know what I'm saying. January 8th equals April 11th. And Vernon Presley's birthday fell on April 11th's date, his birthday, on the leap year, remember? He's actually born 4/10, but it fell on April 11th. Anyway, January 8th equaled April 11th, the only other date that equaled January 8th. And that's why this is so important, the 4/11. And notice, if you add the 1/5 to the 4, there's your Antichrist number again, 154, 1/1. You see? It's like saying, adding Trump and Obama. 154, or Elvis and Trump, I don't know, whatever, or Vernon and Trump. All I know is the 154 is the Antichrist number. Anyway, but just go back to concentrating on the 4/11 for a second. So remember earlier when I showed you that 154 days and 155 days, these are the percentage, and it equals 84.66, and it connected to the 9/11, You remember 66 years, 8 months, 4 days thing? Anyway, 84.66. If you add Elvis's birthday, the 4.11 that I showed you just now, this equation for his birthday, the 411. If you add that, if you add the 411 to this, look what you get. 88.77. You see that? Okay, and I'm going to show you why that's important in a moment. Because next year, Elvis's age is 88. Trump turns 77, which is the total is 165. And Trump's birthday is 6/14, the 165th day of the year. You see? And you see how every single thing connects? And, you know, there's some significance to this, but I don't want to go into detail about this. So if you add the prime numbers for the 88th and the 77th prime number, it equals 846. And if you add the 165, which is 88 plus 77 is 165, you add the total, it's 1011. So, which is, you know, there's connections to that, the 111. So if you want to make something out of this, go ahead. It's basically like, check this out. Remember I told you that Trump is the identical twin? Is the replacement twin, and Trump's born on the 165th day of the year, right? So there's the Trump connection, which would maybe add to this. Maybe they need the 8466, and they just, you know, because remember, it was 8466, that numbers that I was showing you earlier. So it's part of it right there. And supposedly the first tower on 9/11 was hit at 846 or something like that. And they said that George Floyd, something about him being there, when they were talking about George Floyd, that the guy had his knee on his neck for 8 minutes, 46 seconds or whatever. That's why I'm not paying attention to this right now. But here's the last thing I'm going to show you. So look at this. The most important dates connected to Elvis, there's a bunch of dates that connect, but the most important ones, which I emphasized, Elvis's birthday is the 8th day of the year, right? 1/8 is the 8th day. The Seattle event, 6/11, is the 162nd day of the year. Trump head wound, which is Obama's birthday, Trump gets the head wound, is the 216th day of the year. Elvis died on 8/16, which is the 228th day of the year. Now, if you were to add these days, and you know what's funny? What's missing here is Trump's birthday. I didn't put 6/14. Okay, let me tell you again. So I put Elvis's birthday, the Seattle event date, Trump head wound date, which is Obama's birthday. So you got the Obama connection and the Trump head wound. And I have Elvis's death, but I don't have Trump's 6/14 in here. Okay? If you add these numbers together, which is the days, look what it equals. 6/14. Which is Trump's birthday. Can you believe this, man? You can't make this stuff up, man. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Anyway, folks, like I said, I could keep going on with a bunch of stuff, but I'm going to end the video. Like I said, these are my two predictions. Don't mix them up. Seattle, there's going to be a spectacular event on June 11th in Seattle. Somehow Elvis becomes a part of it. Okay? And Trump head wound is on August 4th in Ohio. 6/11 Seattle, Elvis. Anyway, end of video.